Hello everybody, here we are again for another segment of damage control. When life happens and your grooming gets behind and what to do about it. So, I had Rosie up earlier and we took care of that big chest mat, but then I had found these ones in the armpit, and I've got about 10 more minutes. So I'm going to address some things about taking care of that. It occurred to me in my other video, one of these days, I'll have all my tools ready when I start a video, but whatever. I had a thought about, getting these kind of difficult tangles out when you have a special needs dog. Now, there's nothing physically challenged that Rosie has going on, but she was a teeny tiny puppy and I had to hand rear her, so she missed some developmental windows. So she's not typical in terms of her demeanor, her temperament, and this can happen with all kinds of dogs. It could be a rescue, it could be one that was placed early. Any number of things can create a special needs dog, and all that means is one where the tips and the things that you would typically do for most dogs, most other Schnauzers, you can't do for various reasons, or you have to approach differently, or like I said before, she's 2.5 and we're finally getting to this place where she's not just like constantly trying to get off the table. How do I get off the table? How do I get off the table? So now finally we can start doing a little more with her. But I just want to let you know that if you're starting out with a dog who's not great on the table, it's okay. There's no rush. It can take 2.5 years, right? Right? And it's fine. You do what you can. You build the cooperation. You build the rapport that you can in the sessions that you have. Maybe your ideal, your goal is to take over all the grooming on your own, but maybe in the short run, while you're still learning, you do some at home and your professional groomer does some. There's some ways you can work that out. And this damage control is actually a good thing if you're getting ready to go to the grooming shop. And here's why. So like that chest mat that took me 10 minutes, specifically the last video, to get rid of, well, I have to charge for that time if I'm professionally grooming a dog. That's in addition to what the normal groom price is, because the groom price is based on how much time it takes typically to do something. So when we have a big mat, or we're trying to save coat or something like that, and it's a lot of extra time for us, we have to charge you for it. And we hope you understand. We trust that you understand why we have to do that, especially because we have to go slow to get the cooperation from the dog, so we're not the bad guy. But back to grooming your own dog. So there's some things you can do before coming into the grooming shop that could save the groomer time, and like getting like a mat out like this one. So here, let's finally get down to it. So there's a mat right here in her armpit. I don't know if I can make it so you can see it, but I can see that it's felted, which means there's not any good way to break it up or split it apart. And it really just needs to be cut out, because up here in the inside of the elbow and the armpit, that skin is super delicate. I mean, imagine if you had to demat your own armpit. That would not be cool. And dogs have way more hair growing out of there than we do. So what I'm gonna do is, so this 2 years of working with Rosie to be restrained on the table is serving me now, because I will be able to hold her still more or less to keep her safe for scissoring. Now the way I'm holding her is I'm holding her elbow and it's forcing her leg to stick out forward. I could support her in the back if needed, but I've got an arm around her, and she's just learned over time that there's no fighting this. I have all day. If she wants to try to fight, I'll just hold her safely and securely till she gives up. All right. Now, Generally speaking, for dematting, getting mats that are in delicate areas like the armpit, generally speaking, that's safer with clippers. However, that's only if your dog's willing to be still when clippers are on. And they aren't all. So sometimes we have to bite the bullet and we have to use the scissors and the thinning shears to get some of these mats out. And so I'm going to teach you some techniques too on how to do that safely. Okay, so let me get her leg extended again. So I hold it with the one hand, come around with my other hand, and I am holding the elbow. Basically, it's between these two fingers. I stretch the leg back out and my thumb holds it. My fingers are holding the point of the elbow. My thumb is across the inside of the elbow. She can't really change that. Good girl. So now I bring this mat to where I can see it, right here on the surface, and move her face out of the way. You might need somebody's help, either to hold the face out of the way or give treats or something. And what I'm gonna do is when I make the cuts, my thinning shears have a straight blade that's easy to get right in there, right at the level of the skin. And then I don't do any scissoring until I can see both tips of the scissors. That way I know that the tips of the scissors aren't going somewhere to cut somebody, either part of her, part of me, whatever. Now in this case, I split the mat in half. Now I'm going to split it in thirds. That just makes it a little easier to see, a little bit easier to deal with. Maybe I do just a little brushing to see if there's anything that'll come out. So if I'm trying to save more hair and the dog is cooperative, then the thinning shears are a good way to go. It leaves a less hard of a cut. But like, I'm already losing her patience. And if you don't have as much patience from the dog, you may just need to make the straight cut. So then what you do, you lift it up off the skin. Again, you make sure you can see both points before you cut. You might have to make a few cuts to get it a little smaller, a little closer to the skin. Nobody said you have to get it in one go. I'm holding her elbow so she can't jerk suddenly and create a dangerous situation. And I'm just very gently and slowly trimming that away. Now, I took a little bit of a long lock of hair there, which I didn't mean to, so that's a sign to me, easy, to do a little brushing. This leg is going to need some detangler in it to really brush. No. So when she struggles, I just hold on. I keep that elbow because I want her to learn that it's over when she gives up. There, good girl. No. And when they're wiggly, it's not when to let go. When they're struggling, is not when to let go. Good girl. Good girl. I know. I still haven't let go because she still hasn't quite given up. Yeah, now we're back to home base on the hugging. Let me move scissors out of the way. No, 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 no. Good. Good. That's right. Give me a hug. Okay. And then just gently we're over. No exuberant praise for this dog. Not for this. She gets it just for being alive most of the time. But when she's on the table, I'm trying to slow her down. So I'm not going to talk to her too much. I'm trying to make everything low-key and boring. And it's also important because I don't want her to think, well, she's going to think that her behavior is what's causing the outcomes, because I love her to death, but she's a self-centered little creature and she thinks the universe does her bidding. It must be, it's so superstitious. It must be the thing I did that made the lady do the thing. So if she's going to believe that her behavior affects what I do, then let's reinforce that the behavior that makes me let go is relaxing. Yeah. Oh, almost missed my chance while I was talking. Good girl. Good girl. Slowly moving away. I don't ever want to reinforce, okay, that there's ever a crazy time on the table. So just a little bit at a time. Good. Good. If you'd ever like some help or coaching on special needs grooming or handling on the table, maybe you've got a wiggle worm who's had bad experiences or just has never learned to be still, and you want to start grooming yourself and you need some help in order to keep it safe, feel free to reach out to me. My email address is StrawHatStandards@gmail.com. I'll be happy to set up a consultation with you and talk to you about how I can help you reach your grooming goals. All right. We good? We're good. Bye-bye.